What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. Hope you're on a fantastic day today. And today we have the January 2025 Tulsa International Airport update for you all. I hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. As today we have a bunch to dive into here at TUL. Mainly good news, a little bit of regression, but pretty much out of TUL's control, and I'll explain why. But the good news is that it's going to be a very strong year. We'll have a little bit of a slow start, but hopefully by April or so, we'll really be kicking in the gear. And once again, I'll explain what all that means. But luckily, we'll have no major statistical regressions or all that, maybe just slightly. But again, we'll talk about that throughout the update and especially at the end. But we're here for the update first. So let's go ahead and get into what we have going on at TUL here as always. Our first aircraft is the Southwest 737-700. If you don't know, Southwest has an extremely reduced schedule relative to what they normally have for January and February. So here at TUL, we are seeing about 4 less flights a day. But we're still got all of our destinations. So this aircraft's currently coming in today, except for Chicago Midway. That flight will be back in March. But you know, the loads were really rough last time this year. So it makes sense that they're doing this. But anyway, the rest of the flights are still good with our continuity. So this particular aircraft's currently making a flight today coming in from Dallas Love Field, and now it's going to be heading out to St. Louis. So yeah, great to have all those. And it makes sense for Midway, just not, you know, it's tough for them to optimize the network. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a little bit, but nevertheless, that's what we got. And then we have a blended 737-700. This aircraft's currently coming in from Las Vegas and now is getting ready for Phoenix. So some of our best performing destinations. And fortunately, I think Vegas just loses a couple of flights during the off-peak days. And I think Phoenix is double daily all the way throughout this still, which is really great. So very happy about that. And overall looking super sharp there on the 737-700 with blended winglets. Here's 737-800 with Scimitar winglets. This aircraft's currently coming in from Houston Hobby. I believe this is, it might be double daily. It's once or twice. I think it might just depend on the day too, but I know by March we're back to our consistent double daily, so that's great. And now it's going to be heading out to Orlando, which some Saturdays it's operated, some it's not, but luckily in March that'll be daily, which is really exciting for spring break, and then again in the summer, so that's huge. As expected, not going to be daily during the August and September months, maybe October if we're really lucky, but nevertheless, still looking very sharp there. But probably Saturdays and Sundays again. So, but spring break's huge. It's a really great time to have it daily. And here we have a MAX 8 little backflip. This aircraft's currently making a flight today, coming in from Austin, which is a cool one. Austin is operated really inconsistently this particular month. Next month it gets a little better, but this month it's really hit or miss. So no need for huge concern, but you know, obviously we are going to be a little limited. And then we have the 737-700. I don't believe I've mentioned Denver yet, so he's coming in from Denver. And let's see. I don't know if I got St. Louis or not. I can't remember if I got St. Louis, but we'll say St. Louis otherwise. So that's the other one. And both those remain at their normal frequency. So yeah, it's really just Austin, Chicago Midway, Orlando, and a little bit on the others. Just a couple less frequencies here or there. So yeah, still pretty good, but we do lose about 4 or 5 flights a day on both sides of this. But luckily, we should be able to make it all back up. But yeah, the January statistics will likely be down unless if what's going on the other side of the airport helps it out. But unfortunately, we're going to run into, I don't want to call it a collapse, but yeah, we have all regional jets here for United. This was not what I was expecting when I recorded that last update, and I'll kind of explain to you what happened. So United is just the absolute juggernaut of revisions here in the U.S. airline landscape. So originally, we had January, February, and March all on the A319 for Denver as always. So they started by pulling off February, which I didn't even catch, until they pulled off March, which was during the first revision for March. So that was kind of understandable. And then they also pulled off the, well, I'll explain what I mean by reasonable. And then January was scheduled. And then on the second revisions when they pulled that off. So it's very frustrating that United did not have a mainline here this month. Fortunately, the Houston mainline did survive on February. And then we have some pretty miraculous news currently as of the time I filmed this video. I'll probably make an edit, you know, here in a moment for it. But nevertheless, I'll probably insert a clip. But nevertheless, we do have all regionals here, which is a little bit of a bummer. There's not too much we can do about it. The Denver mainline, they got to optimize it better if they want it to be successful on off-peak days. And I think that's probably why TUL came first. Several other places also had plenty of hits, and you can definitely check out my video I made a couple months back regarding that if you want the full information. But unfortunately, we're a part of it. Fortunately, though, these regional jets are really cool. We got 4 175s and a 550 here to take a look at. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Houston and Denver are both double daily. They're just all 175s. I'm sorry, double overnight daily. Denver's still 4 flights. Houston is 5 this month, which is great. And then we have Chicago at 2. So Here's 175 number 1. This will be Houston number 1, and they are coming in at better times. This one I think arrives at about 8 o'clock, so definitely going to have a high load factor off of that, and excited for the A319 come back next month. So we'll definitely be highlighting that during the absence of the A319. So yeah, we're down a few seats off of this for United, but hopefully they'll be able to make it back up later on, and I'll talk about that later in the update. Here's an old livery 175. This will be Denver, and this will be the 8:30 arrival where the main line typically is and typically parks. But once again, I think we just were probably the first on the list with the Southwest competition on the route, along with the rest of the network that they have to optimize. Places like Wichita, Sioux Falls, and Northwest Arkansas don't have near as much, if not any, Southwest. So, you know, I would understand why United would prioritize those markets for the seats, because obviously they don't have as many seats at all. So I'm willing to take this sacrifice if we can get our main line back consistently, but I'll talk about it here in a moment. B6 houses the other Houston flight. This one arrives at 9:30 this month. So once again, the load factors are going to be really good. So that part's certainly encouraging. So good job, United, for optimizing that part. But again, we'll talk about the details of why this kind of matters a little bit here in a moment. I never thought I would need 4 175s. I did, so I don't have a fourth, so I'm gonna have to make shift here with my 170, and this will be our other flight today out to Denver, which this obviously isn't very realistic at all, but I don't have another opportunity here. So that's where you're seeing this 170 filling in for the 175, and this is still that 11:30 flight. So yeah, they've had a little bit of restructuring with the whole network. I'll talk about it here in a moment. And then we have the 550, which operates Chicago as well. So yeah, this will be back to 3 daily flights in March, and I'll talk more about the details of that here in a moment. So that's the B gates. Definitely a little bit, I don't want to say disappointing, but you know, it is tough what's going on over here. It looks pretty full, and obviously these regional jets do help, but obviously relative to what we even saw last month, this is definitely tough, but it is our slowest month of the year. We probably will see some statistical, you know, drops from this possibly, or this could go really well and they end up filling all the seats that are going to be offered. We'll just have to see what load factors look like. I'll absolutely be taking a look at United and in Southwest. They'll have more of an analysis here in a moment, but that's the current trajectory there on what's going on with those gates. Let's go ahead and jump over to luckily where we have pretty normal capacity over here at the A gates, at least compared to 2024. So yeah, we're doing really good over here, luckily, and this could certainly make up for what we're going to see as a result of what's going on over there. So great that we were able to leave a good part for later in the update. So let's go ahead and get started. And one outstanding piece of the airport that we can't not recognize here is the Endeavor CRJ900 for Delta Connection coming in from New York LaGuardia Airport. This has been awesome. I've really enjoyed seeing this perform really well. I'm eager to see how it'll go this month, but yeah, this will be Endeavor until March as of right now, and then we'll finally get that Republic 175. So yeah, both are pretty good planes, so you can't complain either way, but that's the current plan. So it's been great to have Endeavor start off the route here strong, and I would expect long term to finally get a SkyWest 175. But yeah, it's been great to have the aircraft variety for sure. So Endeavor is currently not scheduled after February because Atlanta is all 717s, which is big time. So very happy about that, but overall looking very strong here at the airport for sure. And as for American, we are doing pretty good here with what they're up to. So here's their ERJ 175. This will be a SkyWest flight today coming in from, or sorry, we'll do Envoy for this one. So this will be, or never mind, I have 170 over here. So let's go Republic. This is coming in from New York LaGuardia 2, and now it's going to be making a flight today out to Miami. So those two routes have certainly been focal points as well and have been going really well. So eager to see how they perform this month. So definitely going to have to keep my eyes closely on it. And next here at A7, we have the logo on the winglet 737-800. Huge plus that we have our 3 overnights this month. I certainly was impressed when they put that on the schedule, so they'll do well. The timings are pretty good. February's times will probably result in a few less passengers, but luckily the January times are really going to help out. So here's the first 738. So we have this coming in from Charlotte and Dallas right now, so this will be our Charlotte flight. So we have 2 737s in from Dallas. The second one's right here at A number 9. So I believe the times, I don't have them fully memorized, but I think they might be, I want to say 9:45, and 10:45 maybe. That could have been last month as well. So, but I think that might be what we got this month. But anyway, pretty good times, a few too many seats I would argue, but I think with how the times are set up, they could probably do pretty good. I would have liked to have seen probably the one of the 737s be a 320 or so, and that's actually what we have for the March lineup. It'll be a 319, 320, and 737. So yeah, really excited about that. But anyway, still looking sharp. A11 has our A319, and this one comes in at 9 o'clock or the first flight, whichever time it is. So I think it should be the last one. That's what they're going to be going back to in March, and then No information on the April schedule yet as of film, but I'll put a little clip in here to kind of give some updates because I'll have plenty of them at this point because there'll probably be enough movement that's worth talking about. So anyway, but for this month, 3 Dallas overnights looking really strong, and overall very happy to see that. And we have the Astrojet 737 in here to give us some light for some special deliveries. And this one is coming in from Charlotte, which remains at 3 daily. Super impressive. Really happy about all this. And yeah, we'll have some more updates on its long-term jeopardy of whether that 3rd daily will be coming next summer or not. Soon, I would expect it to, but it's still not out there for sale at the time of this filming. So we'll have to see what their plan is, but I would certainly be surprised. A8 has not had any aircraft at the hard stand. They've been putting some de-icing equipment here and some other functions of ground service equipment, mainly due to their use. So they've just been kicking more planes out to the hard stand. So I've seen it times where there's been 2 planes out on the hard stand, but since they're getting so accustomed to doing that, I think it probably works well to have that equipment close by. The Delta section luckily is rocking and loading pretty nicely for this time of year. So over here, obviously we saw the Endeavor over there, which has been a great part and what we didn't have last year. Salt Lake City remains at 2 daily flights with the E175. I would kind of like to see the SkyWest one at 550. I know it doesn't help statistics very much, but you know, there is a couple of off days where this is a tough one, especially on that near 1 a.m. arrival in some months to fill. So that's what we have here, but it's still great and certainly happy to feature it. And then the 717 coming in from Atlanta. So at this time last year, we had, it was either 3 717s or it might have been 3 717s in Endeavor 170, or sorry, Endeavor 900. But regardless, we're up on seats. It is 4 daily from now all the way until I think April 11th is the current time. I'm a little bummed out that March we couldn't get another frequency, but still really solid, and we'll be up for sure for January on this, so that will be huge. And then, yeah, as long as they're able to fill all the seats, which they always do, we should be in pretty good shape for the rest of the months. We might be a little bit slow. You know, I think mid-April last year is when it flipped over, so we're not going to have any drops, but no jumps either for March and probably April. But luckily, across the hall may help us out. So, yeah, because the airport's kind of balancing each other out, which is nice. So, fortunately, I think we are going to be able to hopefully have a record-breaking 2025. It just depends on what ends up getting scheduled for the summer, but we'll talk about the implications of that momentarily. First and foremost, let's cover some of our other traffic because we do have one really cool upcoming surprise. The first here is this Gulfstream, and this is going to be a G5, which is taxiing out today for Boston Logan and came in earlier from Salina, Kansas, so it's looking really sharp. This is our Envoy 170, which is kicked out to the hard stand, came in from Chicago O'Hare, which has been a really cool segment here. And I think we should be able to cover our other flights on the other plane, just making sure I didn't miss anywhere for this flight. So yeah, Chicago, yeah, I think we did not mention Los Angeles. So really this should be a 175, but we'll just send it out to Los Angeles. I also want to highlight, I'm so sorry that I missed this, and I've started using Flight Connection's map feature, so I'll be able to catch details like this more often. But we actually had an 1818 mainline from Los Angeles during Christmas, which was really cool. So that operated for about 2 weeks. So yeah, really glad that we were able to have that, and it looked like it did really well. So hopefully that'll inspire American to keep sending capacity. A second daily flight would be great, but an 1819 on a daily flight, I would love that. So really exciting and definitely great for those, you know, have a good impression for those passengers at LA. So that's awesome. So no doubt, really, really good progress on that. And yeah, hopefully that was an experiment and hopefully they'll consider doing that again in the future. I would love to see that, but it performed really well. So we definitely have opportunity there to do more of that, especially if Allegiant's not gonna add any frequencies anytime soon. So that's the current trajectory, but that was really cool during December and definitely glad we were able to feature that. So really, really happy about that, and apologies that I missed it for the December update. I definitely will not be missing any more of those fine details as we move forward, but that one I certainly wasn't expecting, so that's how good it was. So really big, very happy that that happened. Okay, PSA, and we'll have SkyWest on this CRJ700 as well. Coming in from Washington National, now it's gonna be making a flight today over to Phoenix. So both these continue to go great. Phoenix is that double daily we talk about, and then our single daily to Washington. So yeah, they're really both doing really well. So I don't know next summer if we have a chance at getting a Chicago mainline or another frequency, but I do think with the trajectory of American, I think we will be fortunate enough to probably have an addition somewhere next summer. So obviously last year we got our third flight to Charlotte and the third flight to Chicago back consistently. So I really do believe that we're gonna get another piece. I don't know what it is. I think a second daily LAX would be great. I think we're probably a little early for a third daily Phoenix, so hopefully we'll see maybe a second daily Washington. And LaGuardia, I wouldn't say yet. So yeah, I am really confident that hopefully American at some point, even if it's not during the summer, but at some point this year, I feel like we will hopefully get another frequency somewhere. And maybe even if it's another Dallas flight, I don't know, but I am really confident that we will get another flight out of it. So I'm excited. Dallas is like, I think it's 4 main lines and 4 regionals this month, so 8 total flights, which is great for January. Capacity's up by a whole main line. So yeah, with all of what's going on at A, I think we'll offset what we're losing at B this month. So hopefully statistics won't be too far down, but we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, this is here. This is legit. So as of right now, when I'm recording this, and we're a month out, so I would think that we should be good. Allegiant's currently planning to send their 737 MAX 8 in on Saturdays from Orlando, which is really cool. So it is on Saturdays during January and the first 2 weeks of February, which is fine. It goes back to its Monday and Friday. But yeah, it's really cool to get the MAX in here. So here it is, Allegiant 737 MAX 8 coming in from Orlando. Super glad to get to feature this. If it actually shows up, I'll be really excited. There's a chance that it's not going to show up. So, but I bought the model, right? And I have to assume, I have to have some confidence in Allegiant. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that it shows up, but do keep in mind that this very well may not. I also want to mention with this particular flight that the schedule for Allegiant came out through the summer and we did really well. We're not going to have a 3rd weekly flight to Orlando. A little bummed, but not a huge deal because we're getting a 4th weekly flight to Destin instead. So really excited about that. We'll have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday service this year. So no doubt plenty of opportunities, and that will really help the Saturday flight and really help, top off the numbers a little bit because it was tough to optimize it for Allegiant. So now that they have that 4th flight, they'll really do well with Saturday. And then of course, Wednesday should do great. So yeah, it's a really good schedule. Tampa, we're retaining Tampa, which is awesome. And then LAX, Vegas, and Orlando, all 2 weekly. So really excited about what we got going on. And I think hopefully we'll get some good news from them later on. They did establish a new airport base with Gulf Shores. That's really exciting. I feel like Tulsa definitely could be gaining a service to Gulf Shores with Allegiant here in the near future. I think that they picked the other airports first because they're a little bit smaller, and their word around the campfire for Allegiant's probably a little bit more proactive since they fly into those airports a little bit more. But I do feel like we probably will get a new service from them. I feel like Gulf Shores will probably be next, but Fort Lauderdale, you name it, there's so many flights that they could do that we'd love to see. So the good news is they are contributing. We're not going down in capacity, we're going up, so that's big. So I'm really hopeful. And then it's a fair trade-off on Orlando. I mean, Southwest, if they're going to operate daily, Allegiant can only do so much and charge so much to compete with that. But, they could easily do it 5 weekly and do great. But it's fine. 2 weekly is good. We can live with it, especially once again now that we have that. And then I feel like we'll get another player in the Orlando market down the road. But for now, we do have this MAX here this month, which is really cool to feature. So very happy this is here today. And overall, it's looking really good. Okay, let's get into our other taxiing planes like this PC-12. This is just doing a local flight around the area, so just wanted to feature some GA traffic. I also hope to get this airport expanded up a little bit for some future updates. It probably won't be for the next couple months, but hopefully by the summer, I want to get some additional cargo on and all that. Just it's been tough to, optimize it all with how much has been going on. So I know I constantly am mentioning that, but seriously, with the upcoming internship and all that, it's definitely been a grind. My primary goal right now is to keep what we're currently doing. So I definitely want to expand, just trying to find the right ways to do it. 3 cargo planes to round it out. We have the FedEx 767 heading to Memphis, which has always been great. So it's always fun to see this no matter what the time of the day is. FedEx 757-200 freighter. These have been really inconsistent. I've seen a couple of them come in from Denver lately. So we'll say Denver just to kind of change it up a little bit. So that's really cool. So I'll love to see that. And lastly, we have the UPS 767-300 freighter, which is coming in today from Louisville, and now it's going to be heading back out there. So really cool to see that on a inconsistent basis, but I saw a couple of them, so I thought I would feature them. But normally the E300 for that. So yeah, I really hope all of you enjoyed this. It's really fun. I also didn't mention this yet, so I was leaving it for the end on purpose. That's just kind of a little mock-up of what the FIS facility progress is looking like. They do have really awesome vertical development, which is super exciting. It's all silver, so kind of what you see there is kind of the concept. I know that's a stratifolding piece, so that's not really what it's supposed to be like, but just imagine kind of that vertical development is what I'm trying to simulate there. So once we have more progress, probably for sure by March or April, I'll have a little bit better of a little mock-up structure. So yeah, let's go ahead and kind of talk about the plans for the model airport a little bit, and then I'm going to expand just a little bit more on the service I was talking about, and then we'll conclude. So first, I definitely want to get the runway back, the American Airlines maintenance facility, the cargo ramp, all those pieces. I do have intentions of getting it all retained. Just really don't know what's going on in the immediate future of my life right now. So my current plan is just to get all of my content as recorded, as pre-recorded as I can, so that we're not going to have any gaps. So I know that I've assured that there'll be progress for the model airport on this particular display soon, and it's still of my utmost intention. I just need to find the right opportunity to get that done. So don't worry, it is in my thoughts still. Just need to find the right place and the right time. So that's the current plan on that. Okay, back to air service. Southwest retains a normal schedule in March, so that's super exciting. So we'll have Orlando daily, and then Nashville starts April 8th. Super excited about that. So that will be super fun, and we add another brand new route to our map, so that'll be great. Obviously, I've had failures from Allegiant and Breeze on that previously. We'll finally get a large carrier operating that regularly, so really excited about that. United A319 from Houston comes back next month. Currently in March, I will put an update in here right now after I explain what we currently got and then explain what actually happens. But in March, we currently have 6 daily regionals, which is same capacity, so that's great, so really awesome. And then in April, currently what they have planned is to bring 2 daily main lines from Houston, which is just crazy to even think about. I'm not going to get too far gone on it yet. I would be shocked if it shows up. If it shows up, I'll be super impressed. And we'll talk about it more in April when it does show up. But it needs to make it past 3 or 4 revisions before I'm going to start believing it. But that's currently what they have scheduled, so really impressive. The main line from Denver, along with the 2 daily main lines, are scheduled for May currently. So in this upcoming clip, I will give you the current update of what to expect as we move forward. But I explained that all to say this. So yeah, we'll see what the update is, but I explained that all to just explain that the United situation is just really crazy here. Hopefully we get some record capacity. We obviously want Denver at its consistent main line because it's the fundamental, and they haven't took it off of the long-term schedule. So I really do believe that was just lack of assets, not Tulsa, not being a good market. That was the thought there. And then Houston, I think we're finally going to get to consistency if we're scheduling double daily main lines. So surely that means for this upcoming summer, we can get back to our once daily mainline. I think it's a very reasonable ask here. 6 daily flights, one of them be mainline. That's a full summer schedule. That's what they've done for a long time, and usually they can optimize that up really good. So yeah, that'll be a little bit more in the news analysis, which also those will be moving to quarterly videos. I'll do 4 of those a year. I think just the format of that and also how many other videos there are to upload, I think it'll work best if we do it in a quarterly format. So that's the plan for that. And then I also want to make note of one more piece. Chicago would be great to see mainline, but we're going to be 3 daily starting March, and that will roll consistently. So yeah, next month just 1 more, and then our 3rd plane will come back to be 11, and then all of our gates will be full again. So that's really great. Really happy with what Delta's doing over there. That's awesome. Maybe we'll get another aircraft type difference on Atlanta. I don't know, but I'm very happy with the 8 daily flights. Definitely can live with that strong, and then 7 daily during the off-peak times. So very happy about that. Hopefully we see some progress as we move forward. Very satisfied with American. They've done a really great job. Very happy with the 3 Dallas mainline flights overnight. And then I think in March, we're going to have 5 mainlines and 3 regionals. So that means for the summer, I can't remember if we had, I think our peak was 8 mainlines. I think we had 8 mainlines and 2 regionals. So I don't know. At least if we can at least retain that, that would be awesome. But just continuing the capacity or add frequencies, just continue to contribute. But American, I'm super pleased with what they're doing, and who knows, maybe they'll continue to be very nice and continue to send a bunch of planes. We'll have to see. Allegiant, overall satisfied. Still plenty of development for them to do here if they want to take advantage of it. But hopefully in 2025, if I had one big pick, one major change that I would love to see air service wise for the best, really want to see Frontier come back. I know it sounds silly, but I mean, how they've re-optimized their network, the connections, and certainly them driving down the price would be huge for our market. I'm really hopeful we'll see a Frontier back to Denver at some point in 2025. So huge goal. I know it's a little ambitious, but if we could somehow get Frontier back here, we're really going to be moving forward. So that's the biggest goal, I would say. And yeah, I don't think we would sacrifice the United mainline. I think United would still be just as committed if they do. Now, they have made a couple of tweaks, like Fargo was normally 4 daily, and now they're pulling that back to 3 daily, but they kept the main line there. You obviously have seen what they did with our service for a few months. So yeah, that whole situation's interesting. We'll talk about it in videos coming up, but hopefully you all have been enjoying those news videos. The algorithm certainly has. So, but yeah, we're gonna run out of light, and I still got another update to film here. So that's the current updates. We'll talk about it more in those videos. And this video is really extensive, but just kind of want to outline 2025, kind of what to expect. Next month, I'll kind of bring it back to reality a little bit. And as we move forward, definitely check out those news videos for all the information, and overall really excited to see what's going on here in the near future. With all that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and one of you for watching. My name is Red of Aviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Red of Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Red of Aviation is signing off.